What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, and my fighters? I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about the Walking Dead universe, the movies, the spin-offs, the shows, everything related to the Walking Dead. I'm thinking about it. So spoiler warning for everything related to the Walking Dead universe, movies, shows, spin-offs. But Rick's CRM location, I think we figured it out. I think we got some news about what Andrew Lincoln said about the Rick Grimes movies. But first, guys, before we get to it, please hit the subscribe button. We have a goal of 100,000 subscribers, and we need your help to achieve that goal. If you like what we do here, hit that thumbs up. A like really helps the channel out. And we post videos every day, so if you're a subscriber, you won't miss out. If you want to donate to the channel, you don't have to, but even the smallest donation helps. We have a Patreon, a membership program. Also, we do live streams every Sunday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, but also my book series. I love the zombie apocalypse stories, and I wrote my own story set in the future. Hope you join the fight and pick up your copy today. Fight for Us on Amazon. But if you know this channel, you know that we talked about a bunch of different news and theories about the Walking Dead shows and movies, and it's interesting that more and more stuff's finally coming out. Well, not that much information about the movies, but recently Andrew Lincoln talked about the movies and they're working on it. It's interesting because we want to know about the movie, hopefully movies, because it was supposed to be a trilogy. Now that really has been on the back burner. Is it going to be one movie, 3 movies? I hope it's 3. But way back when, months ago, we saw a little teaser trailer and we talked about it. Where is Rick and what city is this? We saw a helicopter go towards the city, the skyline, and way back when, many months ago, before other channels, before other things, we talked about this city being Philadelphia. It makes sense because of the skyline. I grew up right outside Philly in South Jersey, so I know what the skyline looks like, and comicbook.com put this cityscape up in comparison with what we saw in the teaser trailer, and it makes sense. So I believe Rick's in Philadelphia, or at least was. Now, per comicbook.com, they said this: while virtually promoting his first post-Walking Dead project, the Australia shot Penguin Bloom, Lincoln relayed a brief update he shared with a fan during a surfing trip in Cornwall, England. I saw this guy and he looked up and I knew that he recognized me. I didn't have a hat on, I was just in a wetsuit and I was with my son. And this dude, he clocked me, Lincoln told Callender. I was like, here we go. It was the coolest thing. He walks up, he saw I was with my son, and he walked past me. I thought, oh, maybe he doesn't know. All I heard was, come back, Rick. It was so moving. He continued. I turned around and I just went, we're working on it. So that's my answer to you. We're working on it. And I hope we get some movie news in October at New York Comic Con or some other meeting or whatever which way they want to tell us, because we want to know, is it still going to be 3 movies, 1 movie, and when do they think they could start filming? Because they're going to start filming the 6 extra episodes in October 2020 for season 10, and we just want to know the most information we can about all of the Walking Dead universe, including the movies. But here at the PT channel, we got a lot of theories, and I'm working on another one. That CRM is actually 3 regions. Portland, so the Pacific Northwest, the South, really Midwest, and the Northeast. And it makes sense. Even though we know CRM is 3 different communities, it makes sense. Fear the Walking Dead, and Walking Dead World Beyond. Now, way back when, we found out that Jadis was trading people. And that's what the whole deal was with Negan, and they were going to CRM. And they really didn't go into it anymore. And that's some of the biggest problems of season 7 and season 8. They didn't go into any of the story arcs that we wanted to know. Like, what was this conversation about at the end of season 7 specifically? We thought it could be trading people because people are a resource. They talked about how many people, and Negan was a leader and he didn't want to let go of his people. But we did find out later on, not on the show, but in interviews, that Jadis traded Heath. We knew that a long time ago, but we didn't hear that on the show. And if you didn't see the interview or you didn't watch a YouTube channel, you didn't know this information, which is pretty bad storytelling. But either way, in season 9, Jadis had her connection with CRM again. She had it before. She was going to trade Rick. She was going to trade Negan. She was going to trade Father Gabriel. But none of that happened. She called for a helicopter, and every time she called for a helicopter, it was with an A. So we've never seen a B helicopter. Talk about where I think the B's go, because we've only seen A helicopters come. And the one time that an A helicopter came, it took Rick and Jadis away. They were going to some unknown location, which I believe is Philadelphia. So I believe A's go to Pennsylvania, probably Philadelphia, but Pennsylvania, and Jadis and Rick will be seen in that movie, which I hope is movies. But Rick went away in an A helicopter. And that's interesting because people are like, what does A and B mean? Is A alive? B is bitten? Well, I don't know what a B would be because we never saw it. But an A would have been Rick, Negan, and Father Gabriel, and they would have been bitten by Jadis recently. So it's pretty interesting that you would have had a helicopter come, the person would have been bitten, they probably would have kept them alive for as long as they could before they turned, and then they would have experimented on them. Probably a cure, probably an aspect of how to cure a zombie bite or how to change their genes or how to change something like that is what a theory that's going around, which is pretty cool. I can buy into it, but why would they just not have their own people get bit around wherever the location is? Why would they hire Jadis to get there in a helicopter? That just seems like overkill to me, but I guess that's the way they're going in the story. And I guess you couldn't really, have your own people get bit, but what if they caught people around the surrounding area or they just had other people? I guess that's what they use Jadis for. So I guess it makes sense if you think about it more and more. But either way, I believe this is where the A's go, Philadelphia. Or they had an A helicopter, and actually Jadis said that they have a B. She never had an A. So maybe the B's go to Philadelphia and the A's go somewhere else. I mean, it remains to be seen right there. But remember, Jadis switched it when she said that she had Rick, she had a B, and she never had an A. So either the A helicopters only go to the A location and the B helicopters go to the B location, or they had to switch it up. It remains to be seen where they're going to go in the movies and what they want to do, but I could see that happening. As for Fear the Walking Dead and the overlays, if you saw season 5, the overlays to me look like states. So I believe that CRM is connected with several states. Texas for Fear the Walking Dead, Virginia with The Walking Dead, Nebraska for The World Beyond, also maybe Portland, because we'll talk about that in a second, and Pennsylvania and another state that I'll talk about later, which I believe could be New York. So I believe CRM is connected with several different states. And on Fear the Walking Dead and The World Beyond, their helicopters have never had A's on them, or B's, or anything. They're just different helicopters. Isabel was in this helicopter, and her co-pilot or her other person was with her. They had no reason to go pick up other people, so they weren't an A or B helicopter. The same thing on World Beyond. Again, we haven't seen World Beyond yet, but this is the helicopter that Lieutenant Commander Elizabeth Kublik from the Civic Republic military gets off of. And there's no A or B on the side of the helicopter because, again, they're not there to transport people. They're there to deliver a message, meet at the campus colony of Omaha, and it's a whole separate thing. And I can't wait to watch The World Beyond to see what the connecting point is with CRM and the Walking Dead universe. Now let's talk about The World Beyond. That's going to be out before you know it, and it's about these 4 kids. Mainly, I want to talk about Hope and Iris, the 2 sisters, and their dad, Dr. Leo Bennett, which I believe is alive and is going to play a big factor with the endgame of the Walking Dead universe. And the fact that Dr. Leo Bennett is said to be a biochemist and a geneticist working with CRM really points that out, that he's going to be the endgame, or one way of the endgame that's working on a cure to change the genes. Because if everybody's infected and it's in our genes, well, it came from a space spore and it altered our DNA, it makes sense that you would have to change the genes of everybody that they can. Maybe kids, maybe adults, maybe everybody that's out there. So hopefully they've worked on trials with people that weren't bit, and they've already had to work on that. So now they're addressing the idea of someone getting bit and how to change that. But if everybody's infected, why would a bite matter? And we saw this photo months ago, and it's of New York State. And the fact that Iris in a recent trailer said that their dad, Dr. Bennett, is in New York working on a cure. So New York. So I believe that's one of the main states, and that could be where the B's go. Again, they could be A's or B's if the helicopter is switched because of Rick going there, and that's why our kids, leave Omaha, Nebraska, and I guess they're going to walk to New York to go find Dr. Leo Bennett. But what's up with the paint here? And if it was just paint, why would Felix be wearing one of those heavy-duty masks? Because it's probably not paint. I wonder if it's a chemical compound. I doubt you'll be able to reverse the infection like that on a walker that's been a walker for so many days, months, or years, but you never know what they're going to try to do on the show. And it's weird to me that The World Beyond is only 2 seasons. They said that from the get-go. We're going to have this first season later this year, and then maybe next season, next year, or after that, but I would assume Lieutenant Commander Elizabeth Kubelik is going to be the connecting force with World Beyond, and maybe the Rick movies, maybe even The Walking Dead, maybe the Commonwealth. I really hope that character or some sort of character connects the dots with all the shows. And I have high hopes for this show, even though this is Iris, her sister is Hope. But Hope and Iris and the rest of the kids and Felix, I can't wait to see what their journey is all about and what it's going to be. And we're going to see Iris give a speech. That's right here at the top. We say that it's called Monument Day because we are all monuments to the past. And then we see the outline of the United States with question marks. And it's Portland, Omaha, Campus Colony, and question marks all over the United States. But we know that the Commonwealth is coming to the Walking Dead show. Stephanie, Eugene, and in season 10, episode 16, we should hopefully see one of the Commonwealth soldiers. And if you think about it, the armor of the Commonwealth soldiers is mostly white, which is the total opposite of the CRM soldiers. So are they polar opposites? Commonwealth and CRM. You know, both are tactical and do their job against walkers, but they're pretty much opposites of it. I just find that pretty interesting. And if you know the Commonwealth, in the comics at least, it's in Ohio, which Ohio is directly next to Pennsylvania. So that's pretty obvious to me that we're going to see a Commonwealth CRM connecting point of eventually the Northeast, and maybe it's 3 regions like I have in another video. But let's talk about another interesting theory. We'll end it with this. If the Commonwealth and Dr. Leo Bennett, or Dr. Bennett I should say, wants to work on kids, wants to work on genetics, changing the genetics of kids, what if something happens with Judith and RJ at the Commonwealth? Like they go to the Commonwealth and the Commonwealth trades them to CRM. And Judith and RJ go to the same location that Rick's at, if not the opposite location. Like if Rick's with the A's and Judith and RJ are with the B's, that would be pretty interesting storytelling. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm definitely liking the theory about genetics, changing the DNA of kids, people that were basically born in a zombie apocalypse, like the kids from the World Beyond, Judith, RJ, Gracie, and so on. So it makes sense, and I would love for that to be sort of a story that connects Judith, RJ, Rick, the movies, shows, bing bada boom. There you go. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Stay safe and tell them, Daryl.
No, we love you guys.